We're rolling.
All right. So discuss as a group, what grade would you give Morgan for how he pursued Skyhook and why?
I think I'd give him an A. I mean, for persistence, he wasn't in the best financial place, but he went for it, and I think he is really good at finding creative solutions to the problems they face.
Yeah. I think financially he went about it the worst way, but like,
Credit cards.
I mean, yeah, I just can't imagine. Like, I wonder how much interest they paid on this endeavor, like where he maxed out all of his credit cards for this. So,
Yeah.
but like as far as innovation and persistence, yeah, I think he did a fantastic job.
I don't have the personality that could. I think I'd have to be like way prepared. I'd have to be like Mike, where I could live for a year, not have financial
Yeah.
issues.
Uh-huh. Yeah, providing for a family and maxing out credit cards, I don't have the personality that like I'm gonna quit my
No.
job so I can do this full time and we're gonna live on debt. So yeah.
Yeah,
No.
that's insane. But it might have helped his attitude. Like I like the little anecdote where they were the whatever VC firm was going to invest in them, and they were talking about whether or not they could pull it off. And he walked in and asked him what hotel he was staying in. Like that might have been different if he had cash.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
I mean,
not
and it
ideal.
probably did motivate him. The last thing he wanted to do.
Yeah, he put himself in a corner.
Yeah. All right. So Skyhook developed a pretty cool technology that has gotten lots of positive feedback. Put yourself in the shoes of Ted Morgan. Why the lack of sales?
I don't think it has at least in the case study, they haven't found the right application for it. It's like they know,
Yeah.
okay, one day everybody could use this, but right now no one's using it. It's brand new, so it's like here's this cool technology. Somebody like it's not a technology someone could just plug in and use. You have to develop things around it. It's like it's like if the internet is invented right away, it's like useless until other people start developing
until you have
stuff.
a mode for it. Yeah, absolutely, I agree with that. I think if as soon as they find like the spot for it, their niche, their group or whatever, their like what is it, their outlet for like using the product, then that changes sales.
Yeah, totally.
So review the deals below and describe the proposed deal outcome and lessons learned. Nokia.
Are these offers in the exhibits?
I was just gonna say, okay, I don't remember.
All they said about Nokia was that
right now,
they had difficulty negotiating because they were talking to technical people who didn't have business decision-making power. That's like all they said about it.
I was like, I don't remember reading.
I don't remember them getting to an offer.
Okay, no, I'm not looking at it. Yeah. I'm looking through the exhibits and I don't see anything in the exhibits that talk about terms.
Okay. Well, let's just say we don't know anything about the offer. Which company would be the best one to accept it from, if all things equal?
Steve Jobs' company that's not listed there.
Yeah, where's that one? And what is E911?
I was like, I don't know what that is, or I don't know what that is.
I think of this list, I mean, if you don't have hindsight, if you're not from the future like us, probably know Kia because they have the most devices. In 2004, they have the most devices by far.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's like Apple today.
If you're like, yeah. I would definitely be like, I don't know 9/11 for it to rank. And Microsoft, I mean, like the idea of what they want to do is mobile, and like you said at the time, Microsoft doesn't have they have their software on like I think it was like the Q and some Motorola devices, but they don't really have any devices for it to matter. And so no Q would pick.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, who benefits from the technology? What problem does it solve? Who has this problem? Do the business decision makers in the companies above feel the pain that this solution solves? Well, being from the future, everyone benefits from the technology that they're working with, like especially once it gets applied to mapping.
Mm-hmm. And if you can cut one chip out of a little device, that's a lot because the space comes at a premium. And if it worked better than GPS too. So yeah, and like today, everything uses that. Whatever app you're in, if you're in Maps or Uber or Yelp, it's all about what's around you. Like even if it's not a direct navigation for your car, everything is better when it knows where you are. But I think
like when you search on Google for stuff or Snapchat, there's like location, anything that is location serviced, shopping, all sorts of stuff.
Mm-hmm. I think the problem that they talked about a lot in the case studies in the second part of this question, do the business decision makers in the company above feel the pain that the solution solves? I think the answer is no. I think the technical people who understand the technology and the problems, they feel the pain, but they're not the decision makers. I think that's their issue with sales. One of their issues.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. Vote. Which strategy option do you favor? Local ads, sell the company, or persevere? I vote persevere. But find a different financial aspect. Yeah. But that's because like they also have like the call with Steve Jobs on the line. So I wouldn't make really any of those choices until I'd spoken to him.
It's true. They don't know what he's going to say or if it'll be an offer or what. Are you still there? I can't hear you if you are. I can see your face moving in slow motion. Hello? you're watching at home, which you probably are because we just voted, we're having technical difficulties. We already did the vote.
Well, see you in your birthday tomorrow. Is that all Emma? That cheese? Was that her? I thought that was Emma. What happened? Are they both fine? All right, love you. Bye. Okay, I don't know what's happening, but the microphone on the computer didn't work anymore, so I'm going to do this from my phone.
Okay, that works. You're super crisp and clear now.
Oh, good. I'm just using my cell phone data.
Yeah, we'll be quick.
So, okay.
So let's vote again really quick. You said persevere.
Yep, persevere.
And then I totally missed your explanation.
At this point, like, I know that I have, like, if I'm in his shoes, I know I have an offer from Steve Jobs on the line, or not an offer, but a meeting with, and it sounds promising. So I'm going to see, okay, is this guy willing to have, like, a relationship with my company and purchase, like, and pay for my product, or does he want to purchase my company? And which one does better financially for the company and myself? Like, So until I have that meeting, I'm just going to tell my company to, like, keep persevering. And once I have that meeting, then reevaluate, I guess.
I agree. I think, like, with hindsight, obviously you need to do what's going to get you hooked up with Apple, whatever that means. If they want to buy your product, if they want to buy you, it doesn't matter. Just whatever is going to get you involved with them, do that. I think even in 2004, it wasn't quite that clear, but I think they understand that that's who they want to meet with. They were trying to meet with them. Yeah, they did. Mm-hmm. So I think it'd be great if they sold the company to Apple, but I think they just need to wait and see what happens with them.
Yeah, I agree. I think persevering at this point is the best option, at least until you know what Apple has on the table for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, convince everyone in your group that you have the right plan for each of the options above. Discuss how likely Skyhook will be to succeed given the following circumstance: current team skills, resources, business model. I think their team skills are good. I think their resources as far as cash go, terrible. And their business model needs work.
I think he personally is terrible with cash, but it seems like the business has quite a bit.
True. Okay, that's
just not personally.
That's fair.
Yeah, I agree with you on all those. I think we can move on.
Yeah. As a group, prepare an agenda for your call with Steve Jobs. What is your BATNA? What are job interests? Why did he call you? Who should pay? Will you pay Apple to get into their devices, or will Apple pay you? How much will you propose? Support your answer. How big is the opportunity for Skyhook? Oh, goodness. Also, I don't know why it won't let me turn my camera on.
Oh, that's right. I think so. This is kind of from that other article. And BATNA is best alternative, not accept. Like, what's the best option what's the best outcome if you don't accept?
Right.
If it doesn't go well, I think that the best alternative is you sell to someone else who's making a lot of devices, Microsoft, Nokia, or whoever. I think they need to get involved with someone who puts a lot of devices out there, because that's how they're going to get developers doing stuff with their products.
Yeah, I agree with that completely.
Just advertising for everybody isn't doing it for them.
Yeah, I agree.
His Jobs. What are Jobs' interests? He wants to make the best device and change how people use devices.
Yeah, and he, like, one thing that he always talked about was, like, connecting with, like, people who make the most and innovate the most. So that's what he's trying to do here. He sees the value in Skyhook.
Yeah, totally. And that's why he called. Who should pay? I think definitely Apple should pay, because they're trying to add a service to their devices. And I have nothing to base price on. Like, with hindsight, you'd say they need to get some kind of royalty because they're going to sell $1 billion iPhones, $1 billion in iPhones a year. But I don't know, maybe just like, I would take a little bit less than Microsoft offered. They were happy about that $300,000 upfront offer with a little royalty.
Right.
I think they should be happy taking a little less than that, just because this looks like a better opportunity for them in the long run.
Yeah.
I don't know what else I can't put a number on it.
Yeah, I don't feel like we have enough information to put a dollar amount on what's appropriate, especially, like I said, I know for a fact, like, because I helped with the iPhone, like, Skyhook did end up having an agreement with Apple. Like, they didn't sell. And so, and they did get paid a royalty. Cool. But, like, if you, it was hush hush then, and if you go scour the internet now, you can't find how much those deals were. Like, you can't find how much Apple paid for that.
Interesting.
And you can't find the royalties, just that both parties were happy with the numbers. And so, knowing that both parties were happy with the numbers, it makes me wonder if Steve Jobs knew that Microsoft had offered more, that, like, had offered a certain amount and was willing to offer more because of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
He just likes to steal whatever Microsoft is doing, man. He sees them have an idea, and then he goes and takes it.
Yeah. Awesome. Them or Samsung, they start to have an idea, and he's like, oh, yep, we're going to do that. And I'm going to put you in the patent office, and I'm going to produce it faster and quicker and make it look nicer or whatever. And so, I mean, I say that while I have an iPhone that I'm doing this call from, but
yep, me too. And I'll never use a different phone.
Me neither.
The guy was good at what he did.
Yeah. So, it's, and as far as Skyhook goes, it's a huge opportunity because, I mean, if you look back and even knowing, like being in the cell phone industry then, when that first iPhone came out, it changed the way PDAs and cell phones were managed.
Mm-hmm.
And within just a year later, they announced another iPhone, which was the 3G. So then it was using, at the time, the fastest network that was available, which is so bizarre to think because we're talking, literally 10 years ago. Like, we're not talking 15 or 20 years ago, but 10 years ago, it was internet on your phone that was just barely faster than dial-up.
Mm-hmm.
And they blew every other cell phone, as far as sales go, out of the water. And so knowing what you knew about the first iPhone launch and the potential and how well Apple's always done, it's a huge opportunity for Skyhook as far as like how many people, and they get to be the company that's like, oh hey, remember when Apple first launched the iPhone and you could find yourself on the maps or whatever without having to pay, what was it, like Garmin or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, we provided that because we had a database of all wireless towers. So I think it's a huge opportunity, and it's like I said, it's one that they ended up taking, and I know that their number that Steve Jobs offered was better than what Microsoft gave them. I just don't know what.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know if that meant more upfront or more royalties or what. I just know that Apple paid more than Microsoft paid, or was willing to pay, rather.
Nice. Well, good for them.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. Well,
and then it looks like I think that's everything for this week. And next week, it looks like everything's due on Friday again. Actually, I think that's how it is for the rest of this, like the next 2 weeks.
Cool.
So, and I will be back. I will be back in Idaho. I'll be at work, but I have good solid Wi-Fi at work, so we can just meet like our normal 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We're in Central now, right? So 2 p.m. Central.
Yeah.
Next Friday. That works for me. So.
Sounds good.
Oh my gosh, thanks for being so cool about today.
Hey, yeah, no problem. It happens.
All right, cool. I will see you next week then.
Okay, bye-bye.